Nestle Impulse Conference, and that, according to my script, is a cue for you to give a huge round of fake but joyous applause. Use up all your good applause so early. I'm Darren Eisenberg, I'm your MC for the occasion. MC, of course, standing for Master of Confectionery. And for those of you who were at the Airport Mercure Hotel a couple of years ago, you might remember me, and I have a message for you. Anyway, look, it's nice to be part of the Nestle family once again, and I use the term Nestle family here on purpose, because to me you are like family. I also see them only once every couple of years. As you know, the theme of this festival that you've been having is the power of one. Now, not to be confused with the event the International Olympic Committee had a couple of years back, the power of one. And we'll remember one, of course, one Antonio Samaranch, obviously not as immediately as I did. But given that this emphasis on the power of one, I thought that I might just throw my 2 cent, 1 cent worth in and tell you a little bit about the power of one. One is the number of Melbourne Cups that Far Lap won. That's all. But it was enough to make him a legend. One is the number of weeks that Pat Rafter spent as the #1 ranked men's tennis player in the world. That's all. But he is revered. He's a hero. But he did it just 1 week. One is also the number of continents that it's possible to sail around in a straight line. Now that doesn't mean anything, I thought that was interesting. Antarctica. Because of the curve of the globe, you can sail in a straight line and go all the way around Antarctica. One is also the number of times, and welcome to the people who have set their clocks home according to Perth time. There's a very large number of people, possibly more people coming in the door than we have seats. So if anyone feels like making their laps available, wow. I think what's happened is that there are people at other conferences who've gone, you know what, I really don't feel like going to the 2007 lactation conference. Next day, like, that looks more like a cup of tea. Welcome. Anyway, just something to think about. Today's program, as you can see, is more jam-packed than the Preserves Isle of Woolworth, so I'm going to just quickly go through some formalities. Now, those of you who were with us a couple of years ago at the Airport Mercure might remember that I wrote a very special version of the national anthem, and it was the Nestle national anthem. We're going to kick off by singing that. So what's going to happen is we're going to all stand. We're going to clear our throats, and as you can tell, I'm a little bit of a fundamental candidate myself today. So all be upstanding, please. We're going to have no music, we're just going to fill the air with our voices and our love to the tune of Advance Australia Fair. We're going to sing the Nestle National Anthem on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Australians all have appetites, we feed them every day. And if we do our job just right, that'll leave lots from Nestle. If they need a snack or a chocolate attack, we've got what everyone wants. And if they need a change, the product range suits lactose intolerance. In joyful strains, then let us sing. Finish advance Nestle's market share. Dry eye in the house. Right, a couple of rules now. Second rule, and this is the most important one today, is that my job here today, hopefully you can see, is to create a little bit of fun. And if you want to get to the end of the conference day and think that you had a fun day, then my advice to you is, throughout the day, whenever possible, pretend to be having fun. Because you can fool yourself into thinking you had a great day. Okay, so this is the way you pretend. Anytime I get someone up to the front to present, what I want you to do is I want you to go on like it's the most amazing thing that has ever happened in your life, right? So I want you to become, just for the time we're together, Americans. Alright? Absolutely wild and crazy. So what will happen is I'll introduce someone, I'll get to the end, you'll know it's the end, and then you cheer wildly for a couple of seconds. Then there'll be some music that you'll hear that I've specially selected. Your job is then to clap in time to the music while they come to the presentation area and chant their name. Okay, so it's a simple chant of their name. So we'll just do a practice one, but this, we'll pretend Craig Anderson is about to present. He's not right now, but I'm going to get to the end and say, Craig Anderson, you're going to go wild for 2 seconds, and then you're going to chant and clap in time to some music that won't play. All right, but let's just pretend. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Craig Anderson! Craig doesn't mind it either, I think. All right. Now, for our speakers today, my job is to keep us on time, certainly more on time than we are at the moment. I have a very simple system. Yellow card means you've got about 5 minutes to go, start wrapping up. Red card means your time is up, must leave the stage area immediately, unless you're one of the signatories on my cheque. And this green card apparently lets you work in America. Okay. Let's get into the introduction of our first speaker. Now, those of you who saw me last time will remember that I do like to do my research, and I research the speakers and I find out information about them, and I've done that on this occasion. Some of that information I have had to pass on to the federal authorities though. But it does mean that throughout the day you get to know the people you work with a little bit better, and I think that that just makes the Nestle workplace a little bit more warm and fuzzy. And I'm hoping that by the end of my introduction to Lance Barnes, that you will feel so warm and fuzzy about him that at morning tea you'll all want to go up and just give him a little hug. Right? We'll see how we go. So here we go, the highlights of his life. Lance was born in Sydney in 1952, and then nothing much happened for a while. And that brings us to today. It just, lots of things have happened in his life. It's just that I think Lance is like a poker player with very, very short arms. He likes to keep his cards close to his chest, and he didn't really give me big answers to the email questions that I sent out. So in order to colour up his introduction, I've had to maybe make up a couple of things in front of him to see if you can spot them, all right? Lance Barnes was a quiet kid. It was his older, more Scottish brother, Jimmy, who was the screamer. Lance went to Fort Street High and UTS, where he got a finance degree. He had to work to put himself through his tertiary education. He sold encyclopedias at university, and when the librarian found out, she was really ticked off. And of course, he's been at Nestle for many, many, many years. Outside of work, Lance has a variety of interests. Rugby league, golf, tennis, cricket, you name it. There isn't a sport that he'd spend all weekend on the couch watching on telly. Golf is his main passion, however, as those of you who know him would realise. And as usual, he played last weekend. He hit a birdie, an eagle, a kangaroo, and 2 pennies. It was a bit of a mixed round, really. In fact, the whole time he only hit 2 good balls after he stepped on a rake. So, not a happy outing for him. I should share this with you. One of the questions I posed to each of the speakers for today was, if you were a Nestle product, which one would you be and why? And Lance answered Heaven Chocolate, because I'd love to appeal to a target audience of 20 to 35-year-old females. So to open proceedings and explain the conference theme of the power of one, let's turn to the one of power and welcome to the stage with chance of Barnesy, the generous and generally genteel General Manager, Lance Barnes.